All right, what is up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we got a pretty spicy topic. We're going to be talking about, is One Piece, the TCG, worth getting into in 2024? So I don't want to talk too much up front here, just kind of rambling around. I want to get right into it, guys. So let's dive straight into it. The one thing I do want to say is if you have anything you want to add to the video, please put it in the comment section below. If I miss something, if I say something, you guys know to help me out if you can. But today's video is going to be more of kind of like a state of the game style video, and probably geared more towards the newer players to intermediate players. The more advanced players who've been playing for a long time, the experts, the veterans, you already know what you want to do. It's, you know what you want to do with the game. But there are players that are on the fringe of like, should I get into this game? Well, I hope I can answer that in today's video. So let's dive straight in. So you see, I've got it laid out with 3 cons at the top and 5 pros at the bottom, right above my my camera picture over here on the right of the screen. So let's just get straight into the cons. I want to be 100% real with y'all. I'm not just going to be like, yeah, the game's great. There are no problems with it. So just hop in. You know what I mean? No, I'm trying to be 100% real with you guys. So let's get straight into it. Money. The price of entry to this game, there are cards, obviously, we're going to look at that are like just outrageously expensive. But you don't have to start off with these cards. I would never recommend you just dropping $500 in One Piece just to try the game out, because what if you don't like it? Now, I think you would like it, by the way, but what if you dump all this money in the game just to not like it? Well, first of all, I will say you'll just be able to sell it back because the market is very strong right now, and we'll actually talk about the market quite a bit in this video. But there are other cards, that are pretty pricey that probably shouldn't be, like Kuzan right here. He's not even in every deck. Now, Hina, this card, there's a bunch of cards we're looking at here that I'm trying to just show y'all real quick for the new players. They're very pricey, but just don't go these decks, right? Just don't go the decks that need these, because there are options to go that are not the most expensive, if that makes sense. The one everyone always talks about, Katakuri, because this card is just out of control right now. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys, it is. I think I'm gonna touch more on this when we get to the pro side of it. But certain cards, this is one of my favorite examples of Sabo, this card right here in the top middle. There are certain cards that should be, like, this is a super rare card, and it costs right around $10. That is absolutely perfect, guys. Like, I mean, think of it like this. Yes, that's expensive, right? But do you want the cards to go down in price where you have no investment for what you've been putting money into? Like, for example, when I first got Sabo, I think it was like a $3 or $4 card. And I have like 6 or 7 now, just from, winning tournaments and playing over the time and like collecting packs randomly. I've got like 6 or 7 of them now. Well, if I wanted to sell the 2 or 3 extras that I have, boom, I'm going to make 20, 30 bucks back instantly, right? And that's actually a good thing, right? Because as you're playing the game and winning tournaments, or even just topping in tournaments and getting support and prize packs, you can sell these cards back to make money. So yes, it's still a con that certain cards are so expensive, and the price of entry for this game is becoming more and more expensive. One more card I want to look at that I've already talked about before is Queen. This card as well. This is supposed to be a starter deck card, but they're not producing the starter deck anymore, so the card's becoming more and more expensive over time. Now, hopefully it'll see reprints in the future to lower the cost of it, but at the time of me recording this video, again, I'm just trying to be real with you guys, certain cards are extremely pricey that shouldn't be. Queen in particular, and the same thing with the Hina card we were just looking at. Like this card right in the dead center, this comes from a starter deck, ST06. It shouldn't be this pricey. Now, real quick, guys, I'm not going to do a full Market Watch video right now. I plan on doing Market Watch videos once a month. So I've already done a January 2024 Market Watch video. I'm probably going to be doing another one in early February, just to give you guys a heads up for the players who are like, that a lot of players really love to watch Market Watch. Hey, I get it. It's cool to look at. Let's see how things move. But for this video, let's stay focused. So first con is, yes, the game has a slightly high level, like, cost of entry, if you're not just going to buy a starter deck. If you want to enter the format and be somewhat competitive, I would say you're going to have to enter with about $50 to $100, depending on which deck you want to play. And that's not buying every card. I'm not saying you're going to buy every card and you're going to be able to go compete at a Treasure Cup or a Nationals or a regional or something, but you're going to be able to compete locally by putting down $50 to $100 in the game. That's a little pricey for some people to see if they even like the game or not, but that is where we're at right now. That's roughly where we're at. Unless you're just buying, like I said, just a straight up starter deck or who knows what. Okay, number 2, sweaty best of ones, no sideboard. This game is a no sideboard game, so if you're coming from Magic the Gathering or games that have best of 3 format and sideboards, this game doesn't have that. Some people are for that. Some people are against it. I'm in the middle. I'm somewhat more against it than I am for it. I've made a video on this recently. But for some players, that's actually a total turnoff. So again, I'm just trying to be upfront with people on this. And let me say this, I do think the game is pretty well balanced at the time of us recording this video, where the more skilled player typically can win the game and it not just be a total 50-50 dice roll, you know, or 50-50 coin flip because you guys showed up with a mirror match. You know what I mean? There is some skill involved for sure. I'm not saying it's all skill. There's always going to be some aspect of luck in any TCG, right? Because you are drawing cards from the top. But generally speaking, if both players get just an average pull, the more skilled player should be able to win. And that's kind of the idea, you know, so that's at least a good thing, even though it's not a best of three like most people would prefer. Okay, so that's really all I have to say about that. Actually, one more thing I'll say about number two, the second point for the cons here, is generally speaking, anytime you enter into a new game, that you're the new guy, you're the rookie, right? There's more than likely going to be some people there to take you under their wing. Hopefully you're at a I can't promise anything. I don't know where your locals is, but I hope you have a local similar to mine where, like, when I joined the game in OP02, man, they were awesome. Like, I had an awesome locals. Everybody was super warming, super welcoming, super chill, right? Very laid back, very cool with me. They threw me a bunch of cards, right? They threw me a bunch of free cards that, you know, like, they weren't like insanely rare or anything, but it didn't matter. It was all I needed to get started and to stay attached, to stay hooked in. You know, the game got its hooks in me, you know, through that, right? Through the help from the players at locals. So just something to think about. Make sure to go, you know, yes, it will be intimidating at first, and you'll probably get bulldozed the first few games you play. But hey, that's any game, right? That's not just One Piece, okay? And number three, let's go to number three here. A set behind. So this is the one that I just can't justify, guys. There's nothing, there is no justification for this game, or in this game for me personally, for this next point I have. It's the biggest con that I have. And it's not even as bad as some games, by the way. Some games are much worse than what I'm about to say. But this game, One Piece, is one set behind. What do I mean? Okay, first of all, I'm on a website called OnePieceTopDecks.com, OnePieceTopDecks.com. And they post deck lists, winning deck lists, from both formats. There's two formats in this game. There's the West, which you see down here. Don't worry about these bottom four. They're all part of the West, but only focus on the very top left one of each of these formats we're going to look at. So the Western format, or the English format, we're in number 5. We're in OP05. Well, in the East, they're in OP06. They're one set ahead of us over in the East, or Japanese or Asian format. And guys, it kills me as a content creator, because so I'm over here, you know, just peeking into the future here, like, oh, look at all these cool new decks that are coming out. You know, I want to try these so bad, because think of it like this. They will get spoilers before we do of sets coming out for them. So in other words, when a spoiler comes out of a card no one's seen yet, it's from the set coming out in the East. So in other words, it's like 5 months away from us over in the West. And to put that in perspective, each set is about 3 months apart, and we're about one whole set behind the East. So in other words, like I said, we're in OP05, they're in OP06. So they're starting to see the spoilers for OP07. Oh, I know, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. But it is what it is. Now, as one perk I will say about that is some people are actually happy with that, where it's like, okay, cool. I don't have to really take time into building a deck. I'll just use what they're running. And that's nothing against those players. It's not a knock against those players. It's not lazy. It's just some people aren't really interested in making decks. They just want to play what wins, what they know can have a chance at winning. And I respect that. I 100% understand. So that might be a pro for some people. It's not for someone like me, though. Because for me, it becomes, okay, I'm a creative person. At least I'd like to think I am. And I want to make decks that win in the format. Well, that's easy to do when everyone starts off in the same meta, where no one knows what to expect yet. But that's not even an option for me over here in the West, because we get a format that's totally solved, totally figured out. Now, it is true that the Western format is slightly different than the East sometimes, because basically what happens is the West leaves off where the East did. Like, right, we get 3 extra months to try to make decks better or make decks that counter the decks that we're winning. So it does change a little bit. It's not totally stale or stagnant, but there is some aspect of, you know, how do you say it? You know, there is some aspect of, like, you are playing with a hand-me-down set, right? A hand-me-down meta. Okay, so that's about it for the cons. If you have any questions on anything I said, if I didn't say something properly, or if you want me to elaborate, just message me in the comment section below, and I'll do my absolute best to address any kind of issues like that. But those are the 3. So to summarize the 3 cons, the game has a little bit of a high price of entry nowadays. It's gotten a little bit higher than when it first came out. Because, guys, one of the pros to this game used to be, like in 2023, getting to this game, it was the first year it was out. One of the pros to getting in the game was this game is so cheap. You could make the absolute best deck for under $100, like all the way up until about OP04. And now that we're at OP05, it's changed, and OP06 getting crazier and crazier. And it is what it is, right? So the price, and hopefully they fix that in the future. I think again, this is just the first year of the game being out, so hopefully they're finding ways, you know, to mitigate these kind of disasters or these kind of situations in the future. So the price of the game. Number 2, it can be a little bit sweaty at first when you first get into, like, man, these guys are nothing but tryhards. Well, guys, it's a best of 1. If they make one mistake, the game's over. You win, and now, you know, the more veteran players are going to be feeling awful. They just lost to a new player, kind of thing, right? It is what it is. That's just how it goes, right? It is a best of 1, though. There is no way around that. There is no best of 3 format. So unfortunately, if you don't like that, and no sideboard, obviously, so it is what it is. Last but not least, it's a set behind. Like I said, this kind of even goes into the money thing. One of the reasons that some of these cards cost so much money, like especially the Hina here, is people saw up front that, oh, this card's going to be in OP06 before we had, you know, we don't even have OP06, right? But they saw that Sakazuki, the deck that uses it, is going to be even stronger in OP06. So people are just buying these all up as fast as they can. So that's another, you know, backside of, or that's another downside of being on the back end of these sets, where we get the hand-me-down set of a already figured out format. Okay, now let's get into the pros. There are tons of pros. Notice there's only 3 cons I was able to come up with. And if I missed a con, put it in the comment section below. But please, guys, if I missed one, I would love to know what other kind of cons you guys can think of, and see what other people are saying. So let's go to the pros. Why you should definitely start playing One Piece TCG in 2024. Number 1 is the meta. At the time of me recording this, we're still in OP05. And guys, I should have mentioned that too, guys. I have to mention it really quick. I'm sorry. The prices might go down a little bit as we go further, and new cards come out that people want to buy up, right? And then it kind of balances out the market usually, typically speaking. We'll see though, and I can't promise anything, but that does happen sometimes. All right, anyway, sorry guys. The meta. So this is OP06. Let's go back to OP05. Currently, at the time of me recording this video, over in the West, there are 3 main decks. It's Enel, Sakazuki, and Purple Luffy. Okay, the yellow, the blue, and the purple deck. The blue-black is it's yellow, blue-black, and then purple. Those are like the 3 main decks right now, and it makes a very strong rock, paper, scissors format. That triangle format is something you want, right? That means the game is balanced. That means there's not, because guys, I'm going to tell you right now, in OP01 and 2, well, really OP02 and 3, I should say, and even OP04 to an extent, red was just absolutely dominant. It was running away with everything. It was just so strong that, you know, it felt horrible being in a format where only 1 color deck wins, right? Out of 6, there's 6 colors in the game, for those who don't know. When only 1 color's winning and there's 5 other colors that are just basically not even represented, it just feels horrible. So it's good to know right now we're in a strong triangle meta. Okay, number 2 is growth. Guys, this game is just blowing up. Okay, I'm going to talk a little more about it in number 5. It's becoming a cultural phenomenon, right? Like at least One Piece is as a whole, not just the TCG, but One Piece as a whole. The manga, you know, the whole setup is just, guys, it's just kind of blowing up everywhere. Okay, so this game, massive growth is happening, and that's why, you know, a lot of players like me are concerned about the price. Hopefully they can you know, just like lower it down some to help the new players coming into the game to keep the game growing more and more and more, right? Investment. Let's talk about investment. This kind of goes with growth. Guys, when I bought these Hinas right here, I bought the ST06 starter decks for like $12, or I think they were 15 or 16, excuse me. I think they were 16 US dollars. Well, if I sell my extra playset of Hinas, I will get quadruple what I put into it. You know what I mean? It's that crazy, right? The same thing with, there was another card from this exact same starter set. I think it was Great Eruption. Yeah. Guys, just crazy, right? So, yes, that does stink for the newer players, and I wish they balanced this a little better. But this is one of those situations where if you're investing into this game now, like where you're like, all right, I want to get into this game, but should I? Yes, you absolutely should. Especially when new sets come out, get as much of the play sets as you can of every new card, because you don't know what card's just going to blow up later. Okay? I mean, like, even the leader, alternate art leader cards especially, guys. Like, look at Katakuri. Like, okay, this is the leader card. Wait, this one right here. $270 for an alternate art leader card. Okay, this card, and you can see the market change on it. Look, this card used to be, I mean, it was always pretty expensive at $100 because it's an alt art. You don't need this. You can use the yellow one I was just showing, this right here, and it does the same thing. This is a 5-cent card. But these alternate art cards, you never know how they're going to blow up, guys. And like another one, I try to collect a playset of every single card that comes out, even like promos. Like I collected these a while back, these Udas, because I was trying to make a purple deck work. I bought these cards right here for, I think I got them for $8 to $10 a piece. Well, if I sell one back now, I will have gotten my money back. If I sell the whole playset back because I don't want to run purple anymore, I could, like, what, quadruple my money or whatever that would have been. Same thing with those Hinas we were just looking at. I hate to keep going back to the same example, but you just don't know when a card's just going to pop off like this. The Borsalinos, like I said, when I first got into the game, this card on the right here, $45 right now. It was going for $5 or $10 when I first got into the game. So I think I bought a whole playset for $5 or $6 each. Well, not, excuse me, they were $5 or $6 a card. So like and I think I only needed 3 of them. So I put down $15, and now if I sold one, I'd make all my money back. So guys, this game is growing. If you're an investor type of situation, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't get into this game right now. Just to give a few more examples off the top of my head. Number one with the Queen that we already looked at, this card, this was a starter deck. You bought the box for like $20, a $16 or $20 starter deck. You could have got it for $12 if you got it at Target, right? And that's what you'd have got out of it. But there's just a few others as well, like Yamato. This is a good example as well. There's a bunch of different ones. Sorry guys, 1 second. It is this one. This was a secret rare that came out in OP01. Guys, this card used to be like down here at $25. But people are starting to realize, well, this card might pop up in the future, and they're not printing any more of them. So, boom, $55 a card, right? It's just massive, massive amounts of gains that you can have as an investor. Okay, sorry, that one took a while, but there's a lot of money to be made in One Piece TCG currently. We'll see how things go in the future. I can't make any promises for the future, but that is one massive pro. Here's why it's a pro to newer players. If you are a newer player and you're like, well, why does that matter to me? Well, say you play this game for 6 months, and you're like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. Well, some of these cards might be triple the price you bought them for when you first got them. You see what I'm saying? So when you go to leave the game, you might actually walk out with more money than you got into the game with, right? It could happen. I'm not saying it will happen, but it has the potential. Okay. Number 4. This game is very easy to learn. It's very straightforward. There are tons of tutorials on YouTube. Oh, by the way, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. With the growth of the game, guys, look at all of these YouTubes over here. These are all different One Piece TCG YouTubes where you can check out their content. This game is growing at an extremely quick rate, guys. It is just blowing up. Like I said, all of these are you know, what do you call them? One Piece content creators. Some are multiple games, but a lot of these are One Piece. Some of these might be, I think I follow a few art channels. But that's about it. Like, I think Joku's an art, you know, he does custom art cards and stuff like that. But you guys get the point. Like, these are like there are so many channels right now on YouTube that you can use at your disposal to get into the game and to learn about the game. I mean, my channel, of course, that's what I have on here. One of the reasons I started a YouTube was literally because I saw that this game had a very bright future. It was a fun game. So going back to number 4, right? It's an extremely fun game to play. It has all of the makings of a great TCG, and the only people that can mess it up at this point would have to be Bandai, you know, and they haven't messed it up yet. I'm just saying they're the only people that can mess it up because this game, the sky's the limits for this game. Okay, so last but not least, number 5, I touched on it a little bit. This game is becoming like a cultural phenomenon. I shouldn't say this game, but One Piece as a whole, as a manga, as a unit, like the mangaverse or the however you want to say that. The game in its entirety, or the universe of One Piece in its entirety, is becoming a cultural phenomenon, a cultural. Yeah, this is. I haven't seen anything this crazy. In all honesty, guys, probably since Pokemon, or like like Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic back in the '90s and early '90s and late 2000s. I think with Yu-Gi-Oh, I haven't seen a card game blow up like this. I don't know if I've ever seen a card game blow up quite like this one has. And again, I can't make any promises. I don't know where it's going to go in the future, but looking at the current trajectory of the game, guys, it looks pretty good. Like the game looks like it's really, really growing. So that's really it, guys. So just to summarize with the pros, the meta is strong. It has a good triangle format. One deck's not just outplaying all the others. Now, there is a deck that's seeing the most play, but I think that's because it's like the funnest deck to play, and that's Blue-Black Sakazuki. But Enel can definitely beat it, and so can Purple Luffy. It's a little harder for Enel, I think, but Purple Luffy can absolutely beat it, and so can Enel. I shouldn't say that. All three of them can be. Excuse me, like spit everywhere. All three of these decks can beat each other. But guys, the game is growing. You can invest in this game and make your money back in the end. It's easy to learn and fun to play, and there's actually a very high skill ceiling too. Like the entry level is simple enough to get anyone into the game, even like kids. Like my son started playing this game, I guess, last year when he was like 11 years old. He's 12 years old now, and it's one of those games where it's very easy to learn. But if you're a very skilled player, there is you will be able to do even better than the new players. Like you'll be able to separate yourself because of the levels of complexity within the game. Okay, and then last but not least, like I said, it's this game really is just kind of popping off right now. So in other words, to summarize, should you start playing One Piece TCG in 2024? In my opinion, I think yes, you should. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't. Okay, unless of course if you're a college kid and you just don't have any money, hey, you might still want to go to like a locals and see if someone will let you play. Like you'd be surprised. People, there are people at locals who'll just let you borrow a deck for the night. Maybe not on the first time you meet them, right? But if you start showing up like, man, I really wish I could play the game. I really wish I could play the game. I just don't have the cards. I wish I could borrow someone's deck or something. Who knows? You might be able to find a guy that can help you out because the game is that fun to play, guys. It's that fun to play. And if you can't afford the cards yet, you ready for this? Here's the best part. Why don't you just play the game for free online? There's a One Piece TCG simulator where you can play all the cards for free. You can make any deck you want to and play it online. And currently, I have a whole video on this. There's a lot of videos coming out on this. There are ranked leagues popping up in the sim. So you'll be able to play competitively online for free. So again, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't get into the game. I can't justify a reason in my mind. And I hope anyone out there who's on the fringe, like thinking, should I get in the game? At least give it a try. I have to say, I don't see a downside to joining One Piece TCG in 2024. Right, guys, that's about it. I hope y'all enjoyed. As usual, if you have any comments, any questions you want to add, put them down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, peace.